Hello friends, good morning. As I told you in my earlier class, today we'll discuss the letter grade. It's a very long chapter and this is one of the most important chapter in foreign exchange. So friends, listen to me very minutely. Many very peculiar terms will be there. You have to capture the terms, otherwise it will be difficult to understand the letter grade. And letter grade, if you understand the letter grade nicely, then half of the foreign exchange you will understand. The letter grade mechanism is the most important as far as the foreign exchange is concerned. So friends, let us go talk about letter grade. Discuss or talk about the letter grade. Before I go to the question wise, let me discuss something about the letter grade. Then I will go to the question wise and we'll discuss some questions. First of all, let me discuss some details in foreign exchange, details in letter grade. So it will be easier for you to understand the question and give the answer for the question. First of all, why do we need the letter grade? What is this letter grade and why do you need this letter grade? And the need of the letter grade is like that. In international trade, those days, buyer and seller does not know each other personally, but they wanted to do the business. The seller does not like to part of his goods without being received the payments. Seller does not like to be the part of his goods without the payment being received. In a similar way, the buyer does not like to pay before receiving the goods. This deadlock arrived between the buyer and seller, and this problem is solved to the great extent by arranging the letter grade by bank. So bank is coming in between them and issued the letter grade and solved this deadlock. Under this agreement, under this understanding or agreement, buyer and seller, exporter and importer, the bank act as an intermediary between two of them and asked to issue the letter grade on behalf of the importer to the exporters, and bank is giving the undertaking to make the payment. When bank will make the payment as per the letter grade, if the sellers send the goods in time, submit the documents to the nominated bank in time, and follow all the terms and conditions laid out in the letter grade, the bank, then it is almost certain that the bank will reimburse the payment. And also the bank is giving the creditworthiness of the party. So both the party is almost confirmed. One is confirmed to receive the goods and another is confirmed to receive the payments. And this way bank is solving the problem between the buyer and seller through the letter grade. That is the letter grade. And why do you need this letter grade? Now let us go to the LC mechanism. LC mechanism, how it is, LC is establishing, how it is going through, how the LC is getting by the exporter, and what is his role, how the bank is opening the letter grade, instant of what. That is all this thing is the LC mechanism. LC mechanism first is coming into the picture. That is the sale contract. The sale contract between whom? sale contract between buyer and seller. Buyer and seller making a contract that is called the sale contract. Here in the sale contract, it is written very much, very meticulously written that quantity of the goods, rate, period of shipment. These are the some clauses that they are in the sale contract. Sometimes we can say that without being same contract, the LC could be open between buyer and seller. Without being the same contract, it is valid with what document? That is, the document, his name is pro forma invoice. In the pro forma, instead of the sale contract, the pro forma invoice can be the document instead of the sale contract. And in the pro forma invoice also, these terms and conditions are there. The rate, terms and condition, shipment date, validity of the LC, all these things are there in the invoice, the pro forma invoice. And these pro forma invoice are accepted by the buyers is as good as the sale contract. Okay. Now, after the sale contract or pro forma invoice is ready, the buyer, what's this called? After getting the sale contract pro forma invoice, the importer is buyer. Importer is buyer. Buyer comes to his bank and requesting the bank to open a letter of credit to the exporter on the basis of the sale contract or pro forma invoice. And the bank will give the application form, that is the standard application form is there and prescribed application form is there. In this form, the importer will apply the letter of credit and along with sale contract and import license. In the application form, he has to attach the pro forma invoice or sale contract and importer license. What is this importer license? That means the license has been issued by the Director General of Export-Import to the importer that is authorized to import the goods from the abroad. And in the importer license, there is a code is there. Importer code is there. With that, you will apply the letter K to his banker. Then, this bank, where the importer or buyers are requesting to open a letter of credit, this bank is known as the issuing bank. Issuing bank, what will do? After receiving the application from the importer buyer, he will see the sale contract or the pro forma invoice. If it is correct, and application is also valid in terms and condition, and then he will go for opening the letter of credit. Sending this letter of credit. This letter of undertaking, which is called a letter of credit, is usually issued in the standard format. Issuing bank issue the letter of credit in the standard format, issued by the prescribed by the or approved by the IBA. This format is uniform for all the banks. All the banks, the format is uniform, and this format is approved by the IBA, Indian Bank Association, and in this format they have issued the letter of credit. And nowadays the maximum, most of the LC is issued in the SWIFT format. SWIFT format, that is international format. All the countries, this format is same all over the world, the same format. If it is the SWIFT format, and we call it the MT700 for letter of credit. We use the format. It is called MT700, and MT700 format all over world. All the banks are issuing the same format. Then, after issuing the letter of credit from the importer's bank, the letter of credit goes to where? Goes to the exporter, or it will go to somewhere else? No, it doesn't go to the exporter directly. The bank, issuing bank, sending it to a bank in the exporter country. Issuing bank sending the letter of credit through the SWIFT. It goes to a bank in the exporter country. That bank, his name is advising bank. After receiving the LC at the advising bank counter, they go through the LC, they see the genuinity of the LC and forward it to the, after putting the advising stamp, and forward it to the exporter. This is called the advising bank. That is the role of the advising bank. Advising bank is role is very limited. They are only the checking the authenticity and genuineness of the LC, and after putting their stamp, sending it to the exporter. And if the LC, those days, if the LC is a manual LC in the standard format, then it comes to the advising bank. The advising bank, in that case, the advising banks, how they are check the authenticity and genuinity of the LC. In the manual LC, signature of the officials of issuing bank are there on the LC. They verify the LC signature. Booklet are there, and the booklets are there with the advising bank. From the booklet, they are verifying the signature of the issuing bank officials, and if it is if it finds the correct and authenticated, then they advise the LC and send it to the exporter. Okay, after getting the LC, the exporter, what is the duty of the exporter? After getting the LC, the buyer after getting the LC, seller arrange the goods and arrange the shipment. After doing the shipment through the border or through the transport or through the ship or through the airways, and submit the documents. After completing shipments, submit the documents to the bank. This bank is known as the nominated bank. Exporters, after shipping the goods, completed the paperwork, my document works, submitted the documents to the bank. This bank is known as the nominated bank. Nominated bank and advising bank in most of the cases are same. If not same, then advising bank submitting the LC to the exporter completing the shipment and completing the document, submitting to the bank. This bank is known as the nominated bank. Nominated bank, what's the duty of the nominated bank? Nominated bank, this duty is to, after receiving the documents, he has to see whether the documents are as per the terms and condition of the LC or not, and document has to be submitted within the stipulated period and validity of the LC. After verifying the documents, If it is found okay as per the terms of the LC, the nominated bank is making the payment to the exporter. Nominated bank making the payment to the exporter, and thereafter the nominated bank sending the documents to the LC issuing bank through courier, international courier is sending to the LC issuing bank. Then the role comes into the LC issuing bank as well as the reimbursement bank. LC issuing bank, what they are doing, after receiving the document from the nominated bank, they are again checking whether the documents are as per the terms and condition of the LC or not, all the documents are in perfect condition or not. Then the LC issuing bank authorizing the reimbursement bank to make the payment, authorizing the reimbursement to make the payment, and this bank is known as the reimbursement bank. And this is a reimbursement bank, the issuing bank maintaining a reimbursement bank account, Nostra account with them. Issuing bank maintaining the Nostra account with the reimbursement bank by debiting the Nostra account and making the payment to the nominated bank. Okay, that is the LC mechanism. This is the LC mechanism. Understand? This is the total LC mechanism, how the LC is opening, what is the document is required, where to submit the documents. After submitting the documents, who is submitting the documents? Our seller is submitting the documents, means exporter. Then where it goes and how after that the reimbursement bank is making the payment to the nominated bank. All this thing is the mechanism of the LC. Now you tell me how many parties are involved for a LC, international LC. How many parties are involved here in the opening of the letter date? Number one is the applicant. Who is the applicant? Importer is the applicant, who is going to purchase the goods from the abroad. He is the applicant and he is the importer. Then the beneficiary. Who is the beneficiary? Beneficiary is the exporter who is selling the goods. He is the beneficiary. Then credit issuing bank. Credit issuing bank is nothing but a LC issuing bank who is issuing the LC. That is one of the party. Then LC issuing bank sending the LC to a bank, that is called the advising bank. Advising bank is also one of the party in as far as the LC is concerned. Then another part is coming into the picture, that is the nominated bank. Nominated bank is the one where the exporter, after completing the shipment and document, submitting the document to the bank, that is the nominated bank. And lastly, the reimbursement bank. That is the end of the mechanism. Reimbursement bank, who is the bank authorized by the issuing LC issuing bank to make the payment to the nominated bank. That is called, this bank is called the reimbursement bank. That is the total how many parties are involved here in the opening the letter K. But one more party is also, one more institution also involved here, but that institution may be the same. That is why it is not included here. When I speak about it, I will tell you who is the another party apart from these applicant, beneficiary, LC issuing bank, advising bank, negotiating bank, nominated bank, and LC reimbursement bank. Apart from that, another bank is also involved in the LC mechanism. I will talk about it. That one is the confirmatory bank. At the confirmation, when LC issuing bank is opening the letter, they may they may put a clause in the letter credit that is called adding the confirmation, and sometimes without adding the confirmation. If it is without adding the confirmation, nothing doing, a confirmation bank is not coming into the picture. If the LC issuing bank is adding this clause, add a confirmation to whom they are asking, advising bank, because they are sending this letter to whom? Sending the letter to the advising bank, who is the correspondence of the LC issuing bank, giving a clause that add a confirmation. If the advising bank accept this clause, add the confirmation, then they will say we are adding the confirmation and advise the LC handed over to the exporter. Adding that means advising bank and confirmatory bank or confirmation bank is who is confirming the LC may be same, or sometimes may not same. If the confirmatory bank and advising bank may not same, then some other bank has to give the confirmation of the LC. What is the stand? What is the meaning of adding the confirmation? That means this confirmation bank is taking the responsibility, taking the all tricks to make the payment to the party. If they receive or not receive the payment from the reimbursement bank, but they are giving the confirmation, they will make the payment to the party, that means exporter. That is called the adding the confirmation. Adding the confirmation, some risks are there. With taking all these risks, they are giving this confirmation. Giving the confirmation, that means they know the party very well. They know the party very well. They know the LC issuing bank creditworthiness. Then only they are coming into this agreement, adding the confirmation. Now, let us talk about some various types of LC. There are various types of LC. First of all, let us see the back-to-back LC. What do you mean by the back-to-back LC? Back-to-back LC is nothing but nominated bank at the request of the exporter, nominated bank is issuing another LC, that is called the back-to-back LC. And nominated bank issuing the LC on the strength of the original LC. Original LC will remain as exist. On the strength of the original LC, nominated bank is issuing another LC, that is called the back-to-back LC. That is one. Then, what do you mean by the red cross LC? Red cross LC. LC is LC, but if in the LC it is written that it is a red cross LC, and also the language for the red cross LC is written, now give the pre-shipment trade facility to the exporter in red ink, then it is a red clause LC. What is this? LC issuing bank giving a clause and asking the nominated bank to give a pre-shipment facility, packing kit facility to the exporter. This LC is called then the nominated bank is, as per the clause of the LC, is bound to give the kit facility or pre-shipment kit facility or packing kit facility to the exporter. Why this clause has arrived? Why? Because those days, long time back, there was a problem arises in Australia. they received a LC, wool exporter received a LC from the importer to supply wool. That Australian exporter, he has to supply the wools, by purchasing the wools from the third party on consignment wise and sending the wools to the importer. Here, this exporter finding it difficult to send the consignment as per the LC because of paucity of the fund. Then he is asking his counterpart, that means importer, to send the advance to purchase the consignment and send the goods to you, which will be adjusted from the payment. From there, this history, this red clause LC has come into the picture. Got my point, no? In those days, an Australian exporter received a LC from its importer and supplied the wool. So what had happened? The exporter purchasing the wool from the wholesale market and sending the wool in consignment basis to the importer, which making little bit confusing between the exporter and importer, unable to send the whole quantity in one shot. Then the exporter asking the importer, please provide us the advance funding to enable us to give the consignment in one shot. From there, the red clause LC accepted and came into the picture to help the exporter. And what is the meaning of the green clause LC? It is as good, it is like the exporter, it is like the red clause LC. The green clause LC is also like that. Advance payment for warehouse and insurance, where the advance payment facilities are there for warehouse and insurance. These clauses are there in the LC. It is called the green clause LC. Then let us talk about revolving LC. Revolving LC is nothing but suppose a LC open for 1 crore and he has utilized out of 1 crore 50 lakhs has been utilized. Then the LC again revolved back to the 1 crore. If it is the ordinary LC, not revolving LC, then what had happened? Out of 1 crore he has utilized 50 lakhs, another 50 lakhs he will utilize and LC is finished. And revolving LC is not like that. Revolving LC is 1 crore, out of 1 crore he has utilized 50 lakhs, then it is revolved back to 1 crore again. And this way it will revolve, continue, it will run on, continue. This is called the revolving LC. And revolving LC, limit is there. Limit is there. So suppose limit is 5 crore, but LC has been opened for 1 crore, revolving limit is 5 crore. Then what had happened? Till it is 5 crore reach, this LC will revolve continuously till the limit is fixed, till the limit is exhausted. Again, the revolving LC is 2 types. One is automatic revolving, another is non-automatic revolving. Automatic revolving is like that. It will automatically revolve. It need not write to anyone. It need not take the information, give the information to anyone. It is LC like that. It is automatic revolving, means once you have 50 lakhs you utilize out of 1 crore, it will go back, revolve back to again 1 crore. Or in manual Non-revolving and non-automatic revolving LCs, when 50 lakhs is utilized, another out of 1 crore, then you have to intimate both the institute, LC issuing bank as well as the nominated bank. The 1 crore, please revolve it to my 1 crore LC. Okay. Then, what do you mean by the standby letter of credit? What do you mean by the standby letter of credit? Standby letter of credit is nothing but a guarantee, a kind of guarantee is giving. In USA and Japan, what it happens in countries like US and Japan, it is not permissible to issue the bank guarantee. It is not permissible to issue the bank guarantee. In that case, they are issuing the standby LC. In case of the guarantee, they are issuing the standby LC. Okay. That is all talked about, giving you the little bit idea about the LC mechanism, party involved in the LC, type of LC, and LC payment mechanism also I said. Now let us discuss about according to the question. Let's see what is the question is coming. Model question is coming as far the LC is concerned. Question is like that. One more thing I have not told you. Irrevocable letter of credit. What do you mean by the irrevocable letter of credit and revocable letter of credit? In let me say in straight way, under UCP, Uniform Customs and Practice 600, that is the latest one. Clause UCP 600, there is no provision for the revocable letter of credit. Nowadays, all the letter of credit under UCP 600, irrevocable letter of credit. What is the meaning of the irrevocable letter of credit? What is the letter of credit? An irrevocable letter of credit undertaking a bank to specify sum on production of the prescribed compliance document. Letter of credit is the bank is giving the guarantee to make the payment as per the documents and terms and conditions of the LC. Then bank is undertaking to make the payment. Okay. Restricted LC. Restricted LC, as I talked about, one of the party in the LC is nominated bank. Who is the nominated bank? Nominated bank in the exporter's country, where the LC issuing bank is sending the LC to a bank. It is a nominated LC advising bank, and after receiving the LC by the exporter, he is submitting the document after shipment. Submitting the document to the bank is a nominated bank. And what is the restricted LC? Restricted LC means that nominated bank's name is written specifically, not general. Submit the document to the nominated bank. In that clause, if it is a submit the document to such and such bank, then then under this clause it is a called restricted LC. You cannot submit the document any other bank other than the specified name is written there. That is called the restricted LC. Standby credit I already discussed. In US and Japan, they are not country does not have the provision to issue the bank guarantee. They are issuing in case of bank guarantee, they are issuing the standby LC. Green clause LC I have already discussed. What do you mean by the green clause LC? Advance given advance clause is there. Give the advance clause to the exporter for the warehouse as well as the insurance purpose. Advance payment is CB. Irrevocable letter of credit I already told. Irrevocable letter credit is one which cannot be irrevocable. What is irrevocable letter credit? Irrevocable letter credit, a letter credit you cannot cancel without without amendment, consent of the you cannot cancel or amend the LC without consulting the issuing bank and confirming bank. If it is the confirming bank clause is there and confirming bank is there, then irrevocable under the irrevocable letter credit you cannot cancel or amend the LC without these two banks' consent. Okay, that is called the irrevocable letter credit. And what is the time limit for bank to examine the document to determine whether to take up the document or refuse it? That means when nominated bank received the documents from the party, means exporter, he made the payment to the party and sending the document to the LC issuing bank for arrangement of the reimbursement. The LC issuing bank, what had happened, the LC issuing bank again verified the document whether it is as per the clause of the LC or not, whether any discrepancy is there or not in the document. But that again, LC issuing bank cannot take as per their own time. There is specific time is there. What is this time? You have to inform the nominated bank whether you accepted the document or not accepted, refuse the payment. He has to answer it after receiving the document from the nominated bank. What is this date? Five banking days. Within 5 banking days, they must give the information to the nominated bank. They have accepted the document or refused the payment. This thing they have to intimate within 5 banking days. As per UCP 600, that is the latest clause, UCP 600, unless another specific document ought to be presented for the negotiation to the banker. That is, in the LC itself, when the LC will be issued from the issuing bank, there are so many clauses are there. Many clauses will be there. One clause here it is written, how many days exporter will take to submit the document to the negotiating bank. He cannot take his own time to submit the document to the bank. He cannot take his own time. There is specific time is there. Within generally 21 days. Generally 21 days from what? From the last date of shipment. From the last date of shipment, he cannot go behind 21 days to submit the document to the nominated bank. That is one of the clause. If he submits the document to the bank, nominated bank, after the clause of 21 days, then this is a discrepancy in the document. Discrepancy in the document in nominated bank as well as the LC issuing bank. Nominated bank will tell this is the discrepancy that we have submitted the documents of the specific period, 21 days. Now, multi-modal transport document refers to what we mean by the multi-modal transport document. Transport document. At least two different modes of transport. Multi-mode means more than one. 2 different type of different modes of transport is called the multi-modal transport document. Okay. A credit issued by the nominated bank on the strength of an existing credit is called, as I say, back-to-back LC. Back-to-back LC is issued by the nominated bank on the strength of the existing LC at the request of the exporter. Nominated bank is issued a LC that is called the back-to-back LC. As already spoken about it. This again came in the question. What is back-to-back LC? Again, another question has come. Red clause LC, a credit which authorized the nominated bank to sanction the pre-shipment credit to the beneficiary at the sold rates and responsibility of credit issuing bank. That LC is called Red Clause LC. As I told you earlier, Red Clause LC, that clause will be there here to give the pre-shipment or taking credit facility to the exporter. Okay, at the sold risks and responsibility of the LC issuing bank. And LC, that is also already discussed. Let's see that the question. An LC where automatic provision is available for reimbursement of the amount utilized amount subject to the credits subject to selling is called a revolving LC. As I told you, it will revolve. Amount will revolve. If it is 1 crore LC, 50,000 already issued, then another it will go back to the original amount, that is a revolving LC. And that is also I discussed. Confirmed letter credit refers to, what do you mean by the confirmed letter credits? Who is confirming the letter credit? It is the answer here. It is answer like that. I told you about the confirmation LC. LC issuing bank giving a clause, please add your confirmation to the advising bank. Advising bank may add confirmation or may not. If they may not add the confirmation, then the LC issuing bank has to look for the another bank for the adding this confirmation. Credit where the beneficiary enjoys the firm undertaking of another bank apart from that of the issuing bank. That is the technical answer of this confirmation credit. A transferable credit refers to the credit where that is almost a back-to-back LC type. A transferable credit refers to credit which can be transferred by the name nominated in favor of one or more second beneficiary at the request of the first beneficiary. That is the transfer of credit. It is back-to-back LC is almost nominated bank is issuing another LC. They are changing the beneficiary's name one or more at the request of the original beneficiary and on the strength of the original LC. Okay. Then next question, the liability of the advising bank. As I said, there is no liability at all. They are only verifying the authenticity or genuinity of the LC and passing it to the exporter. See, one question is like that. A bank has opened a LC. Issuing bank has opened a LC, and advising bank is giving Citibank. That is not his own bank. That is another bank. They are giving the advising bank. They are another bank, Citibank in New York, but Citibank is their correspondent. But what happens subsequently? That issuing bank opened a branch in New York. Okay, when first opened the LC, that time that branch was not there. They advised through the Citibank. Now that bank opened the branch at the USA, and later on the amendment of the LC has taken place. In that case, whether the advising bank, Citibank will advise it or their own bank will advise, because their own bank has already been opened the branch there. No, in that case it cannot be. Where the original LC has been advised, that bank only will advise the amendment of the LC. Okay, should advise the LC amended through the Citibank New York only, not their own bank. Now the another question, LC amended becomes effective when? LC amended and effective when? The amendment is accepted by the issuing bank, confirming bank and beneficiary. when these three parties will confirm it, accept it, then only it will affect. When the LC amendment is accepted, amendment is effective. LC amended, but when it is effective, it is effective will be done when the LC issuing bank, confirming bank and beneficiary will accept it. Okay. Now next question, if an amendment advice through contain more than one amendment, if an amendment advice contain more than one amendment in a amendment clause, maybe the amendment more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 amendment may be there, then in that case what will happen? Beneficiary should accept all the amendment or reject all the amendment. They cannot, partially they cannot do it. Either they have to accept all the amendment or they can reject all the amendment. Out of 4, you have accepted 2 or you have rejected 2, not like the either you have to accept both, accept all, or you have to reject all. Okay. Messrs ABC are rushing to the bank for negotiation of the document under LC which is expiring today. They are rushing to the bank for submitting the document under LC which is going to be expiring today. They find the bank is closed today due to the sudden strike by its employee, and after reaching the bank they found it closed due to the strike called by the employee. Then what will happen? They have to arrange for specific authorization from the issuing bank for negotiation. In that case, nominated bank cannot accept the document as because the LC already been expired, because that day they cannot submit the document. Next day they go to the bank, nominated bank, submit the document. But nominated bank said that the LC already been expired, I cannot accept the document. Then the customer arguing, I came yesterday but your bank was found closed. In that case what will happen? How the things? Then the bank will advise the customer, okay, let us send a request to the, and he will send a request to the LC issuing bank. They arrange a specific authorization, send a request from the LC issuing bank. They will give the specific authorization to the nominated bank to accept the document under this clause. Okay. And LC was opened on 10th February 2019. LC was opened on 10th February 2019, expiring on 30th March 2019. The document presented for negotiation was dated 8/2/2019. That means document presented to the bank for negotiation dated is before opening of the LC. LC opened on 10th of February, but he has submitted the document to the bank 8th of February, that means before opening of the LC. What will be the reaction of the nominated bank? Document will be accepted by the bank if the LC has not prohibited document bearing a date of issuance prior to that of the carrier. Nominated bank, what happened? Nominated bank will be accepted, document will be accepted by the bank. Nominated bank will accept the document if the LC has not prohibited. If the LC is not prohibited, documents bearing a date of issuance date prior to that of the carrier. If this clause is not there in the LC, then they can accept the document. And if this clause is there in the LC, they cannot accept the document. Okay. Now, 21st means not 21st. Second, next question. If the description of the goods, where it is mentioned first, where it, as I said, why it will be mentioned in the first when going to open the LC, in the sale date. Sale contract between buyer and seller, there full description of the goods will be there. And when the LC will be opened, in the LC issuing bank will again mention description of the goods in the LC. The description of the goods and all documents called under LC were not same as one contained in the LC, bank can. If the description of the goods in all documents called under LC were not the same as the one contained in the LC, the bank can accept the bill, since all the description in invoice should correspond with that of LC and other document can contain in general description. What does it mean? Bank will accept the document, but what bank will do? Bank will see, since the description in invoice should correspondence with that of the LC. Other document can contain in general description. Maybe specific description is not there, but the general description is there in the other documents, then bank can accept the document. An importer who finds the goods received are inferior and different from one described in the document under LC. An importer received the goods, but it is an inferior quality, not the quality as per his expectation. Inferior quality goods he has received, and different from one described in the document under LC, and it is different from the described in one document in LC. What will happen? Can sue the seller for breach of sale contract item. That is the only he will receive the documents. Importer who has found the goods is already shipped the goods, received the goods, and as per the clause of the LC, is documented in the LC. This clause won't be there, because bank deals with the document, not with the goods. That clause you must remember. What type of goods, inferior quality or not good condition, these are the things bank not duty. Bank will not see. Bank will see whether the document is pakka or not, as per the clause of the LC. You have received the inferior quality of the LC, inferior quality of the goods. Here in that case, bank has got nothing to do. Bank will see whether the document is pakka or not, and bank has to make the payment. But his banker will advise the importer, you file a suit against the exporter. Can sue the seller for breach of sale contract. In the sale contract, it may be there, the quality of the goods and all these things, but in the LC it won't be written there. What is a clean bill of lading? What is clean bill of lading? Which bears no clause or notation which expressly declares a defective condition. Which bears no clause or notation which expressly declares a defective condition. That is called the clean bill of lading. As per UCP, the minimum amount for which the insurance must be affected is, as per UCP 600. Let us talk about the letters as per UCP 600. what should be insurance amount? Question is that what should be the minimum amount for which the insurance must be affected? What will be the insurance amount? In LC clause, he has submitted the documents on a sale contract, import or license, and asking the bank to open the LC. Then bank will give one clause will be there in the LC, in the insurance clause, and what will be the minimum clause, the amount of the LC? Minimum amount is 110% the value of the documents negotiated, or 110% invoice value, whichever is higher. If no percent is specified, if no percent is specified in the LC, in that place 110% of the document negotiated, or 110% invoice value, whichever is higher, that will be the insurance value. Bank will mention in the insurance column is like that. Current rules relating to LC is contained in UCP 600, as I told earlier. That is the latest UCP 600 uniform customs and practice for documentary credit is 600. LC opening charges ought to be called as per discretion given to the individual bank. It is nowhere written what will be the charges and bank will be levied. It is not uniformity. Bank will charge as per the depends upon the bank concerned. Letter paid may be confirmed by LC advisor. Letter paid may be confirmed by, as I told you, who will confirm the letter paid? If it is issuing bank, add the clause, add the confirmation, then who at the confirmation, then who will confirm it? LC advising bank or any other bank at the request of the LC opening bank. At the request of the LC issuing bank, any bank, maybe advising bank or maybe third bank, will add this confirmation. Okay, that is the general description of the letter of credit. And in our next class we'll discuss more about LC. We'll talk about some document, transport document, insurance clause, Incoterms, and all these things we'll discuss in our next class. Till then, goodbye.